The competition is bigger than ever. Project Runway is back, but it's All-Stars edition, meaning bring your A game or you are out. This week they're creating graduation dresses. This is AfterBuzz TV.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
This song
Such
does not
a good
bring you
callback.
back. Oh my gosh. It would make me cry. This song would make me actually cry.
When they said graduation dresses, like, there's no other song.
This is the perfect song. What's up, everybody? This is the after show. Right now, we have a little bit of a different situation. Steph Sabraw is filling in. We had some of the girls not be able to show up today, but we're still going as strong as ever for Project Runway. I am Haley J. Be hosting the show with Steph Sabraw tonight. We're getting right into it. We had some big things happen on this episode, so we are seeing what the purpose is of this challenge. They're doing it for the Magic Bus charity, so that's a big deal that they're giving back to these kids. It's all about education. We're gonna see some of the contestants get thrown colors that they're gonna have to put some of the not cutest looks together, but being designers are gonna have to figure it out. So we're gonna see a little tension with that. They don't obviously get to choose the colors. And we are gonna see who, of course, is sent home, who's gonna win the challenge. Then we've got a special segment for you. It's gonna be called Pass or Purchase. So this is the fun part, obviously. A designer is gonna put out their looks and we're gonna say, would we pass on that one or would we actually put our money towards it? And then last, we're gonna give you our predictions because each episode is gonna get crazy. Each week is gonna bring us something new and we've got a lot of thoughts. So let's get right to it.
Yes.
So the Magic Bus, this is helping kids with education. It's a charity. So for you, if you were a designer, do you think that makes the stakes a little bit higher because it's something so serious?
Oh, yeah. I think it just makes it more worth it. I don't know if it's necessarily the stakes, but I think it definitely is inspiring that you get to do what you love and then also it be going to such a great organization.
Right. It takes it so much farther than just designing a dress for the looks. It kind of takes the, just the picture of it all out of fashion and really puts the heart, and you could see Sonny, how he was saying that he really connected with it. He got this opportunity to study fashion and he got to move on from that, but a lot of kids don't. So I think that he obviously connected a lot with this challenge. Didn't want to give anything away, but obviously you saw it, that it might not work out the best for Sonny, but I feel like that is much deeper. And for me, I think I'd feel more pressure, but just like you were saying, it'd be more rewarding to win knowing that it's not just another look. It's going towards something really important.
Definitely. Did that make you like the episode overall?
I think
better?
so, because it shows just the passion behind it. All of these contestants are on the show because they're all-stars. They've done amazing things. We know they can design, but seeing the heart of someone and seeing why they care about what they care about, I think is what you really connect with as a viewer.
Yeah, that's what I liked about this episode is that I like all the episodes, the behind the scenes parts where they get to like kind of talk in those sit down moments where it's just one-on-one with the camera and they can kind of express themselves because you really get to see what their motives are.
Right.
And then with Sonny, it's unfortunate that that it didn't end great, right? Or no, Sonny was great, but it was unfortunate for some people who were very passionate about it and then
Sonny, we saw him struggle with the color scheme, and that led to his demise in the end. But so what do you think about that? Do you think, obviously they're really talented, but they're on such a time constraint, and technically, I could see what the judges are saying that he didn't follow the rules. But he technically did have the blue. So do you think he was kind of cheating it, or do you agree with the judges that they should have been that strict, that it just wasn't enough of the competition rules being followed?
I get what they're saying. And it's unfortunate because when you've been designing for so long, it is by your rules kind of thing. So I think when you get assigned rules, it's hard. I think that personally, I would have incorporated it, and I forget who said it, but it's like you're a designer, you have to make it work and make the colors work. And I really don't think putting blue more obviously in that look would have done harm to the outfit at all. I actually think it could have increased the
dynamic of it, because it was
extravagance
kind
of
of
it.
boring.
Yeah.
Bright yellow is a bold color, but it did become kind of a boring piece. If you guys remember, that's Sunny up there for you guys if you aren't sure. There's 14 contestants, so it can be a little hard to follow if you're later jumping into the season. But so he created just an all yellow look, and it's bold, but when you're on a competition show like this and everyone has won in previous seasons, you have to bring more to the table. And I think the judges really showed how serious they are about that. So even though he did technically have the blue in the back, it just wasn't enough.
Yeah, because that's the whole point of the show, is that you're given pretty strict rules that
They're
you have to
not playing
follow
around.
per week. And if you can't do that, even if your design is really beautiful, which it was so cool to see him like cutting out paper circles and making it into this design. Like,
And
that's
all
amazing.
in their time limit.
Yeah.
That's insane. Because it's one thing to be talented. I think about this when I watch cooking shows where I'm like, okay, it's one thing to know how to bake or how to put things together, but to do it in that time frame and do it well, that's very difficult. I guess that's why they're the all-stars. They're on this show, but I mean, reality shows are so tough. You think you're kind of in the clear by winning a show, and then you're back on where now you're competing with everyone that's won before. So suddenly you are a small fish in a big pond, and you're not the top dog anymore. You have to figure it out.
Also, let's be honest, the brooch placement was terrible.
Right?
Like,
It's just like a
in
weird
the
little
back.
back. Normally it's just right
Is
on
that
the
a
front,
tracking
isn't it?
device? Like, it doesn't
Unless
make
he was trying to start a new trend.
He was trying
wear it in the back.
It was not, the more that I think about it, it was such an obvious like bid to not show the color in the front. Like, you did not want that a part of your design so much that you put it in the back.
And he even admitted to the judges, yes, I bought the fabric, but I chose not to use it. So that was kind of him being just defiant to the rules. And I think that I loved Sunny. He was my favorite.
too.
I was
I
telling
do
you that
like
watching
him.
it. Like, I
Yeah.
loved him. So to see him go home is sad. But at the same time, I think it was a smart move for the judges because it was almost like use him as an example, show them that we are serious. These are the rules for a reason.
Yeah.
But if you're not going to follow, you're going to go home.
We like Jasper and Sunny from the White Room.
Right.
Or like, that's what I call it. They're
Jasper, maybe
one-on-one.
am
Yeah.
I confusing the
But
two?
Sunny I do love too. But Jasper was the one who the program was
Right.
meant a lot to him.
Right. Okay. Yeah. No, you guys got to really study up on these people and then the second you get attached, they get sent home.
Yeah.
But that does lead us into our next topic of we heard some of the contestants, not so happy with their color choices. And then you hear other contestants saying, well, you're on this show. You got to figure it out and make it work. So what would you do if your instinct when you got your colors was, oh, I don't like this. What am I going to do? Like, where would your mind be?
It's like you and I feel like are so positive that if we got it, we'd be like, we
can
have
make
to
it
make
work.
this work. But if I didn't like the colors, and there was definitely, I will say all the ones with white and a color are
So much easier.
You think?
Well,
Because
with
I
white,
think
'cause
it's
I-
harder because white is so strong, and to put on a dress, like I do not usually like white with other colors on like a full piece item.
That's interesting how we're kind of opposite
Yeah,
with that. I just
love
think
the
that
controversy.
maybe I think two bold colors can be a little bit harder to make work, but I just see white as more of a secondary color to, like, say you had an orange and white. I would think, okay, I'll use orange as my dominant color and just
Yeah.
have white kind of in the background or weaved in. But I think if you have like a purple and a yellow, I think it's a harder look to make for most people.
All of the color schemes are not what I'd pick out without patterns. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, to
Right.
pick solid colors without patterns available to you is so hard. Like, right now my pants are green, white, and black, but if I had to put green, black, and white in in like a block scheme, it'd be really hard. Which is why when I saw them get these tassels, I was like, we do know that college colors are not good looking usually.
Right. Except I went to FSU and I did like those colors, but for the most part, yeah, they're not super attractive colors.
It's so hard
They're
to put
for
it.
like game day wear.
Yeah, exactly. Like spirit wear. And there was so many times where I think Sunny was like, I would have been IKEA if I did
Right.
blue and yellow. And then who was it with the red and yellow? I was like, oh, Dimitri, I was like, this is very
him.
close to a sriracha bottle to me.
See, Dimitri, I actually love that look though, because I'm drawn towards the broad shoulders, not, too football-like, but I like a strong, and especially nowadays with women empowerment, like I like a strong female look. So that the broad shoulders really pulled me in. It did like that. And then who was it that had the, it was like metallic. It was Django.
Yeah.
He had
Django.
burgundy and yellow. That was a cool one too.
Yeah, I thought that was like a really good way to bring in texture with
Right, because that's
using
not
the
something
color.
I would have even thought of, which I guess is why I'm not on the show and they are, but that's just so creative, and I can't get over the fact that they did this all within such a small amount of time. It's insane.
It's interesting because the lace patterns didn't really work, period, I think, with the bold, just straight colors and the metallic.
Lace I picture as a white thing.
Yeah, and usually,
Or
okay, I think
black.
lace could have worked if it was more delicate, but the people who used lace, it was very thick lace. But the metallic was a really good way to separate like solids and stick to the color scheme.
Right. And how do you feel about, because I know with the yellow, it was Sunny with the yellow and blue, was that?
Yes.
I know that he obviously hid the blue, but then in
Yes,
who
yellow
was
and
it
blue.
design Seth, he had the red design kind of hidden because that was the one that I thought kind of looked more poolside look. So a lot of these looks were great, but I don't know if they were necessarily graduation dresses, like that type of look.
Oh,
But
the wine red and white. Oh,
And
yeah,
he-
because we got it's a spring or summer graduation, and it had to be sophisticated yet appropriate.
Right.
Which was interesting because a lot of them didn't technically fall under that.
And I don't know if that's me. And I feel like I'm going to sound old. Like, that's not what I wore in high school. But, like, that is not what any of us would wear. Was this a high school or a college graduation? Was
I
it
believe
college
it was
now?
college.
Okay, that would make a little bit more sense. But even still, I just feel like graduation is not where I'm trying to be sexy, really. My parents are there. I don't want to, like,
Yeah, like if I could go
be
back,
Tuesday.
I definitely would have changed my college because
Oh, me too. I did not
yeah.
like my outfit at all.
I was still in that moment of life where I dimmed my light and didn't want to be the extra queen I am, but
Yeah, I was
no
not.
longer.
It was a lot different back then.
But I wouldn't have. There was a few I would have been like, yes, I would wear that. And this was actually one of them. Ironically, I know you thought it was more of a poolside, but I did think that it was a classy dress. This with the wine red and the white. I disagreed with one of the judges was saying there was a little too much going on. I thought it kind of needed that because it was pretty conservative from a far away look.
Do you feel like you agree with the judges? Do you think you kind of know what they're going to say before they say it? Because I'm always wrong. I'm literally always choosing the opposite.
I find myself agreeing with Isaac this night a lot. I think he and I see eye to eye on a lot of things. And Georgina is, I think, a little bit more Gatsby than me. Like, I'm a little bit into funkier, so I didn't really know what she was. I feel like she's been so out of college. Like, I don't know if she had a college graduation to go off of because the dresses she really thought were in the theme, I'm like, those you cannot wear to college graduation.
Right. And it's hard, too, because the judges are probably basing it off what they would wear or what is their style or what they think would sell. So that's very different than a lot of other people's opinions.
Which
So
is
it makes these shows even harder.
interesting because she loved Sean's, which was the purple and white with the low cut and tassel. And just like what you said, she was basically wearing that in black.
She made the comment, like, who would wear that? And then she basically described her own outfit. So, yeah, I think their thoughts are going to obviously go with the designs they like based on what they themselves would choose. Or in, what is, I just lost his name. What's the judge who's the guy?
Oh, Isaac.
Isaac. So in his mind,
Mizrahi.
he's probably
Mizrahi.
thinking, if I were a female, I would rock this, or women that I look up to or have in my life would wear something like this. This would be a fun look for them. So yeah, I think that's a big factor in these competitions. It's really up to just these three judges.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about fashion, is that there's so many different avenues and so many ways to create and express yourself, that this has got to be extremely, it's just kind of up to luck and chance. And I guess that's what they sign up for going on a show like this. They know that's going to be a part of the deal. And I think when you're eliminated, if you can leave kind of in the way that, because it was Sunny, now that I'm confusing Sunny and Jasper.
Yeah.
But it was Sunny that left, right?
Yes.
Okay, so him leaving, I think that he had the right mindset and he was positive about it. But we want to do a little break. We've got a special message for our audience.
Yes, you guys, thank you for tuning in. We love you here at AfterBuzz. You know we're producing after shows for nearly all of your favorite TV shows, from dramas, reality TV, sci-fi, and more. There's no network that's working harder to serve television fans, but we're asking that you please subscribe to one or more of our channels on YouTube. By subscribing to our channels, YouTube will suggest content that's tailor-made for you, and you'll help AfterBuzz continue to grow. And if you're worried about pesky notifications, don't be, because they are optional. So hit that subscribe button now for this channel and check out our other AfterBuzz YouTube channels as well. Let us know you did so in the comments and we'll thank you on air. For now, thanks for being the best fans and for helping us be the ESPN of TV talk. We really appreciate it, and I feel like that's what makes our network so much fun, because we can interact with people and it's really like you guys are a part of the panel.
Especially with a show like this, there's so much going on and there's so many different opinions we want to know, because obviously we're going to have our thoughts, but sometimes when I hear someone else's thoughts, I'm like, oh yeah, well maybe that could be a look for that occasion.
Yeah, I want to hear your judgments, you guys.
Right? So knowing what they think is only going to expand the conversation even more. But I was just thinking, you know, it's got to be extremely hard for these judges or for the contestants to do something that's supposed to be a graduation dress, because they're so used to bold, big looks that I almost feel like this challenge kind of put them in a box a little bit. Because graduation, like we were saying anyways, is typically a little bit more conservative, not so extreme as they could, you know, if you let their minds go crazy, I'm sure they would create crazy, huge, amazing pieces. But with this challenge, I couldn't really do that.
Yeah, honestly, when I first heard this challenge, I didn't like it. It just seemed restrictive and conservative, like you were saying, and
because you want to see them be able to reach their maximum potential.
Yeah, I'm extra. Like, I want to see extra, and I want to see like no limits. Whereas like graduation, you shouldn't have limits as a human. No matter where you are, you should dress how you want. But realistically, like, you're walking, you're sitting all day, you're with like family, friends, like so many strangers. Totally. And even though they should be able to design a dress like this, and I was really impressed with the ability to take not good color schemes and make something out of it, I still want like something extra. I'm excited for next week though, because I feel like next week's gonna be very spicy.
I hope so. I mean, I feel like the challenges are only gonna get harder.
Yeah.
And I do think that they'll only eliminate one at a time, I would think. But they also bring surprise guests. On episode 1, we saw them bring in 2 other judges. So we thought it was just gonna be 12. 14 competitors.
Other competitors.
Right.
Yeah.
Keep saying judges. Yeah. 2 other competitors. 14's a lot to go up against. Yeah. And when everyone's a winner, that's a lot of pressure.
Which is cool. And I think you mentioned this, that they were saying, one of the contestants was saying, like, you can't really lose because we are winners, and that everyone is so talented. Like, if you're losing, it's because of the specific, you just couldn't reach like the heights you needed to reach for the specific week, but you're not bad. You're already a winner.
Well, I think Anthony really proved that too, because we saw him struggling in week 1. He almost actually went home. He was one of the last, I believe it was him and Anya. He almost went home. And then in this episode, he really redeemed himself, obviously bringing us to the fact that he won the challenge. What did you think of his look? That's Anthony right there for everyone. If you didn't remember his name, but he had the lace with the orange and blue. I remember he walked out and you loved it.
Yes, queen. I loved it because orange and blue, like, you're stuck with the Broncos colors. Who wants to be stuck with an NFL team color?
See, what's funny is I went to FSU and our competitor was like the Gators, and they were orange and blue. So maybe somewhere in my mind, I'm like, no, I'm not supposed to like this outfit. I did like it though. I thought it was the most realistic to what a graduate would wear also.
Yeah, I would rock that. I think I really was worried at first because he was so detesting the orange, which I didn't really like his attitude at first, but then we had the mentor Anne come in, and she was so hilarious. Just by the way, like the amount of shade she threw in like
she gives
5
it to him
minutes.
straight.
But she, I liked how he took the criticism well and was like, okay, well, I guess I'm adding orange. And I think that made the difference because it was bold and it was unique, and it was what a lot of women want, that power pantsuit
I
combo.
love orange. And did you notice in his interview, as he's saying he hates orange, he's
wearing
an orange
orange.
shirt. I'm like, you can't hate it that much if you're wearing a shirt.
Yes.
But I've been very into orange lately for some reason. That's like my thing lately.
Yeah, I
like
love
it.
orange.
Well, there is truth behind wearing a bold color. It makes you feel like a badass.
Yes.
When you wear a red, when you wear a pop of color on your lip, like you just feel more confident. And I think if there's anything to push, especially with fashion and the way the world is today, be your best self. Don't hide. Wear a bright color. Be bold. Don't be afraid to stand out. And I think all of these contestants represent that mentality. So yeah, I want to see a challenge where they can just like what if the rules were there aren't any rules in this episode and you can just create
Design
whatever
something.
you want.
That'd be awesome. But I totally agree with you. I think that women especially have so often been like told to be small and kind of dim your light. And that's what I've explored, is that we became into this culture of, yeah, I love black, and all I would wear was black. And then I was like, do I even like black clothing? Like, do I really want to blend in every single, like, a good black outfit, don't get me wrong, is sexy as heck, and I would definitely still rock it. But colors, you are what you wear.
That's true.
I really believe that,
It
especially in a
changes
show
your
like this.
mood.
Yes. So when you're wearing colors, you're like, okay, I gotta be fierce or I'm look like an idiot in this bright outfit rocking it.
Right. And sometimes even if you don't feel that way, it's a fake it till you make it mentality. You might be waking up and not feeling your best self, but if you kind of force yourself, put on a smile, put on a bold lip and go do the damn thing, then
Yes.
it's like you kind of feel like you've changed a little bit
Yes.
just by wearing that look. And I wonder if that's the inspiration behind a lot of fashion designers. You see people who are makeup artists, and a lot of times their stories are how self-conscious they felt as a kid and how getting into makeup was kind of that outlet of creativity for them to get to this point. So I would imagine a lot of fashion designers are probably the same way.
And yeah, and totally with him, he made lemonade out of lemons. Like his grandma
Right.
died 3 days before the last
Right.
competition, and he came back and killed it.
And Anthony was very transparent about that. The judges even said, and I don't know if this was kind of producers behind this type thing.
Of
You never
making him
really
say-
know
yeah.
with that type of thing. But he did say that his grandma passed, just like you said, 3 days before filming, and he didn't feel like he was himself. So I was especially happy and kind of touched by this episode to see him come from a place of a lot of pain and really turn it around. And I'm sure he made his grandma so proud. Like, he found the strength in the pain through that experience.
Yes.
And that's like what passion can lead you to, doing things in times where you don't think you can do them.
He worked it. He worked it.
Definitely. So Sonny was sent home,
Mm-hmm.
and ultimately he was sent home because he didn't follow the rules like we talked about. So would you have been as harsh as the judges were? Do you think you would have sent him home if you were in their shoes?
It's really hard because Irina's outfit to me was so.
Can we talk?
Yeah, can we all collect our moments on Irina's outfit?
I really thought she would be going home.
It was awful. Like, yes, her stitch work and ability to make the layering and the way it moved was beautiful. The length, the cut, the material, just the mindset behind it was tragic to me.
I think that's probably where the judges were coming from, instead of maybe, because I think there gets to be a point where it's almost so close that they have to start thinking strategically rather than maybe with their gut feeling. So even if they wanted to choose him, they had to look at the facts and say, look, he didn't follow the rules. She maybe didn't make the best design, but at least she had the beading, she had the stitch work, she had the talent, whereas he chose not to listen. So I think not only, like I said before, kind of making an example of you need to be serious or you're out, but also showing the fact that if you're going to be defiant now, what's to say you won't in the future? And that's not really fair to the other contestants if you are not basically going to follow the rules.
Yeah. And to me, they both had lack of judgment. For him, it was obviously you didn't really incorporate the rules. For her, it was, what was your thinking? You literally conceive a JJ and solo cut. Like, I always think a nice balance. Like, you're going to do one or the other.
Right.
And that was both. And it was like, it was just very tacky to me.
It was. It looked cheap. It looked like something that you could kind of throw together yourself. It didn't look like anything expensive.
And let's be real. I will say, I think that was the most easy color scheme to use.
She had blue and what was the
She
other
had
color?
ice blue, and so light blue and white.
That's a trending color right now too.
And
That
white.
would be like
For
actually
spring,
great
summer
point.
graduation.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm literally wearing blue and white.
yes,
They go together
it's
so
not.
well.
She didn't have cobalt blue. It wasn't in like a dark green like we saw green and yellow. She had white and a light blue. And my problem with white, so like what I was saying was the hard colors with it. Like a deep color with white is hard to do without like the patterns, but light and light. That should be really easy, and I did like the colors, like the way the white laid under the blue, but it was just such bad choices to me.
And I feel like light blue is a very popular color, especially for women graduating. That's kind of right in the ballpark of what I think a lot of girls
Totally.
that age would choose. So
I did wear a
could've-
light blue dress to graduation.
Right, mine was dark blue. Exactly the point. I think she really could have taken this look far easily. So I'm very interested to see what she's going to be doing next week because, I mean, obviously her talent has carried her enough to last, but I definitely don't see her winning unless she really turns it around. But things can surprise you. I wonder how much preparation goes into a show like this. I wonder if it's just all natural ability or if they know they're going on the show and then they give themselves fake scenarios or they try and think, what would I do if this were to happen? I try and think what I would do if I knew I was going on a show. I would probably try and think of every situation and be able to have answers kind of quick on my feet. But there's really no way of knowing what, unless you really try maybe study past seasons and things like that. But you don't really ever know what you're going to get. What do you think you would do to prepare?
For when
If
you
you
get
knew that you were going to go on an all-star show, what kind of prep work would you do?
That is such a hard question because even like I saw both of us kind of thinking like, what would we do with each of these color schemes? Because and I always do this with the show. I try to put myself in their position, and it's so hard. Like they are all very, 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 very talented. I will not take that away from them. I have no idea what you could do to prepare because it's not like a fitness challenge where you're like, I know I have to hit this mile
Right.
time. I know I have to do this many sit-ups.
Blank
It's
canvas.
creativity. I think you'd really have to be confident. And I think for me, when I'm like even just picking out my outfits in the morning, if I overthink anything, it will be an ugly outfit. But that's why I used to pick out my outfits the night before or try to think about it. And that would never work for me. And I realized I have to wake up, see like the vision of the day. And then I pick something. And I think that's how I
Feel
would
the mood.
approach. Yeah. I would have to be like, you know what, clear head space, probably meditate before and just take it for what it is and just do it.
Bring me the outfit
Yeah,
of the day.
yeah.
But you
Give
know,
me
I'm
talent.
sure you've been in this situation where you say you do, because a lot of times I'll weirdly just like close my eyes and I'll visualize an outfit. I might not be thinking about
Yes.
clothes, but I'm like, that's your look for tomorrow. But
Yeah,
then,
if that happens, I'll do that.
but then what if it doesn't look like the way you saw it in your head?
Rarely
That's gotta be
happens, but so disappointing.
Right? Where you're just, and maybe if it's the weirdest thing or just like it falls differently on your hips than you thought or something weird like that. I imagine how frustrating that would be as a contestant and seeing it on your model and seeing this vision in your mind, and then it hits the runway and it just doesn't come across the way you saw it.
Totally.
That's
It
gotta be
happened
like
to
a,
me
oh,
today
moment.
with my outfit. I was like, okay, I'm going to wear this because like I was meeting with some people and I needed to look fresh, you know.
As always, this girl always looks so on point with her fashion. I'm going to say that right now. If you follow her on Instagram, you would know that.
Oh, no, you do too, though. I'm like, Haley J, yes.
Oh, stop.
But I put it on and it did not fit right. I got the wrong size because I went back to get this outfit and it was the wrong size. But anyways, if
Whole
I
day's
had
ruined.
sewed an outfit together, put it on my model, which it has happened in Project Runway, and it doesn't fit right, that would be so hard.
That would be so frustrating.
gotta have the
it's like your
resilience.
vision, that's your baby, and then it just kind of falls flat. That's got to be really tough. And not to mention the pressure of everyone else around you. It's not like you're in a separate room. You're literally seeing it's like when you would take a test in school and you see people are finishing up before you and you start to get, well, maybe this is just me, but I'd get so nervous seeing people turn their tests in before me. I wonder if that's the same kind of feel, if they're like, oh my God, theirs looks so much better than mine, or I'm doing better than them, so
Who
I feel
had
okay.
the 2 dresses?
I was going to say, I don't think we saw 2 in the end.
No, he only
That
did. He
was
made
Seth.
2, but he only picked 1. That was the point.
Okay.
But like amazing time management.
And then he was so confident in his interview. He was saying, I know time management. I'm not going to do this unless I know I can. Yeah, so that was Seth. So I think he'd be one to watch because his confidence, him and Dimitri, I think are
serious confidence.
Are really, we're going to see them in the end. I'm pretty confident with that one. But I do want to get into our special segment. So we're fashion girls. We even got matching hair today. So
yeah, we're like very much CID.
We're very on our hair game today. But so we want to play pass or purchase. So we're going to pick out of all the outfits we saw tonight, what would we pass on? And then what would we, money's hard out here in California. So if we're going to put our money into it, we got to like it. So what's something we would actually purchase?
Okay.
Let's get into it.
Okay. I have 2 choices for purchase.
Okay.
First one is Anthony. I love a pant top combo.
So Anthony was the winner.
The
with
winner.
The orange
So
and blue.
the orange and blue. I love the cut in the back. I love bold colors in general. I love the mix of he did lace right. Like it was really well done with the under being the orange. And
I feel like those colors are really hard to make look
and
good.
somehow
he did it.
The second
it was elegant
outfit I would get would be, actually, this is surprising, I would have switched the shoe, but Anya Young's outfit, which was the green and white, she had the low cut with the stripes. She had the model wearing sneakers, which I disagreed with, but I understand that she was making it kind of like because it was very extra, but go with it. I thought that you could have paired it with silver shoes, silver hoops, and made it like a funk town. I did really like that outfit though, and green is my favorite color.
Yeah, green's a good one. And then
what about you?
She did a good job at sticking to the color scheme by incorporating both. Well, what would your pass be? Who would you definitely pass on?
Oh,
I think
Irene. Like,
just can't.
It's like I fell back into those gross prom shops that you'd have to go to because I couldn't afford other dresses.
And they all look the same. Oh,
like the resale prom
the
dresses because I couldn't afford other dresses, and it just made me want to vomit.
Walking by those. Yeah.
Hard pass.
That's a hard pass. I feel like we need a button where it's like, no. That one. Sorry, Irina, you are very talented, but
yes,
I agree. That one. No, I think she can do so much more, and I hope for her sake that she shows us more in the future. But Dimitri, he's the one that I would purchase just because with the shoulders.
You loved it.
It was either that or it was going to be the metallic one who did that Django.
Oh, Django, baby, yes.
Where's Django from? He was the Netherlands winner. Oh, that's a cool one.
That is awesome.
Makes me
I
want
love
to travel
that it's
too.
all the different, there's so many different countries going on.
And you can see the inspiration from each country, which makes it so much more meaningful, I feel like. And fashion is so cool, and to go to other places and something that could be very traditional, very normal here could be absurd somewhere else, and kind of vice versa. But it's funny what does end up trending with the ugly sneaker trend and the fanny pack. Even at work today, I'm wearing a scrunchie, if you guys want to see.
Yeah,
but
it's so cute.
At work today, they're like, is the scrunchie back? And I'm like, it is, and I'm embracing it.
I do have to say a comment, though. We had Julie Graback, I believe is how you pronounce her name, from Project Runway Australia Season 1, and she was really self-conscious because she was like, I thought I was good, but they're really killing it. And when I first saw her dress, I'm like, that's hideous. And then when it went on the runway, I was like, I actually could have seen myself getting that.
Well, and how many times do we put on an outfit, don't love it, you kind of do your hair and makeup and add accessories, then it comes together. So I do really like the aspect of the show that they, as designers, get to choose the makeup and hair with it. because that shows me so much more about their ability than just designing clothes. Also, they see the look as a whole, and that it is like their complete art project in the end.
Totally.
So I think, yeah. And that would be even more discouraging if you weren't happy with it and the makeup didn't look the way. Imagine those models. That's a lot of pressure for them.
Yeah, they were gorgeous.
And when they're being judged, it's literally not like the person standing there.
I was
it's
thinking
just like,
that for
she looks-
Irene's girl.
Didn't she say one of them looked old?
Yeah, that was that was for red and white. Oh, that was for
I know she wasn't calling the model old, but if I were the model wearing that piece, I would have felt like she was just personally victimizing me.
Oh my gosh, yes. And now it's going to bug me if I don't find. Oh, that was for Christina Xie's outfit.
Oh, okay.
The red, right?
Right, mhm.
Yes. Yeah. I actually didn't. I agreed with the judges completely on that call. I loved the bottom. I thought the way she stitched in the red to the blue was amazing. But I agree the top was old, but they didn't have to call the model looking old.
And she said very old. That's why I was even drawn to that, because I'm like, she really pointed it out that it looked so old. But we had a lot obviously going on in this episode, but we're going to talk about predictions. We're going to talk about what is going to happen next, or what we think might happen next.
Yes.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV
Predictions.
Steph, what you got?
Okay, I'm trying to see. Do we remember what they said the theme was?
I know they showed them getting on a flight.
Yeah,
and then
I
they
guess they
showed
were, like-
Jasper racing around.
Yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen next week. I guess I'll go with who I think would be out next week. I think unless I'm just worried about Irene's judgment, not about her abilities, about her judgment. So I think she might be on the chopping block for next week because, yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna forget about that dress choice.
Or we'll see what happened with Anthony, where you could be in the final two and then say, okay, gotta pick it up or I'm gone. So maybe we'll see her. It kind of depends. Do you think she agreed in the end that it wasn't her best look, or do you think she was blindsided, that she thought this is great? What are they talking
No,
about?
I think she thought it was really good.
See, that's what I think too.
That's what
I don't
worries
think
me, and I
saw
hate to
her-
roast her so much, but the judgment is what scares me.
that she didn't realize that, okay, because normally when they do poorly, they know. But we're gonna, I guess, just have to wait and see.
Do you know how many people like made side-eye comments like, "Oh, that's short"? Oh, like
And she didn't
that
pick up
low?
on that unless she
Nothing.
was just like, I'm confident in what I've got.
I love the confidence, but
The judges will put her back down.
Yeah.
But we want to know what you guys think. You can follow us on Instagram and Snapchat. I'm at, or not Snapchat, sorry, Instagram and Twitter. I'm at HeyJ, HAYJ_. My lovely savior of the night, Steph Sabraw.
you guys can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Steph Sabraw. Make sure you guys follow or subscribe to us on iTunes podcast. Leave us a comment there because those are extra special to me. I don't know. I can't tell you why, but they are.
We just want you to join the conversation, guys.
And 5 stars, baby.
And do your hair like this. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.